All right, we put a post out on our Instagram to ask questions. So we have some here that we're going to go ahead and answer. We're going to try to make this a regular type of series on our YouTube channel. We will go live usually on our Instagram as well. We're doing that right now. So we'll be able to get questions from there later too, hopefully. But yes, so we can start now. All right, so from our Instagram post, our first question is from the Rocky Mountain Show, which we'll see you guys next week. They asked, what was your very first sticker design and what inspired it? What was my very first sticker design? That's kind of hard to remember. I was doing that during a time when I was designing a sticker design every day on Instagram for about a full year. But I think the first couple things I made into a sticker were my Yeti design, probably the peace sign, the bike design, and then one of the very early designs was a arcade design, cabinet design. I don't have that up for anymore, but that was one of the first ones. And then like a fox. I think those were the first designs that we actually turned into stickers. And I believe those were some of the first stickers I ever sold at shows. Let's see, the second question from our Instagram post was from Mama JS Joint. They said, I'm trying to figure out how to start selling my paintings. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and say I don't sell paintings, but from the experience that I've had just from knowing some fine artists and just from out networking, my best advice is you have to go out and network. You have to be part of a community for stuff like that, like fine art paintings, because usually you're trying to sell those for hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of dollars, depending on where you go. But that's all about networking, getting in a right group of people, doing gallery shows. I'm sure there's fine art sales online, but I would assume that anytime you do actual physical paintings, it's all about networking. Markets are good places. I've seen people go to farmers markets like we started in, and that'd be a great place. So make sure you network if you want to do real paintings, not just on the computer, but networking is super important, and that goes for pretty much anything involved in a creative field. The next question, third one, is Artword asks, for someone who is limited on time, do you think I would get better results selling products online or booking at events to sell my products? So, I mean, it all kind of depends where you live, but I always feel like when you're starting out, selling in person is always going to get you better results. It's so hard these days to just make any kind of a splash online, since there's brands being started every day, every minute. There's probably going to be 10 brands created during this video. So when you're first starting out, if you want to sell any type of products, I really suggest, even in probably smaller towns, there's some sort of farmer's market. And when I say farmer's market, that's just what there's called. There's all kinds of different markets and events depending on the type of city that you're in. But go out, go into the real world, get real world feedback. I mean, for me, I spent many years trying to just push my stuff online with very limited success. So I thought in my mind that nobody wanted to buy my products, which is pretty discouraging. You think that social media is kind of the end all be all on what you should do with your life with all that feedback. But ultimately, I started going to markets and selling my products to real people. And those people loved my products and started buying them. So that's kind of what really helped me grow this company and take off, was that I knew in the real world, people buying real products. And then once you kind of get a base there, you can start growing your online presence. You should always grow your online presence. You shouldn't neglect that. It'll always help you sell more in the future. So go to your local town, start doing in-person sales, film all that, create content, and post about it so people know what you're doing. It's hard to sell anything in a vacuum. All right, fourth question was from one of our Instagram stories, actually, on the same thing. It's from Brent Galloway. He asked, any tips on transitioning from all client work to your own brand and designs? I think this is kind of what, everybody always wants. How do you transition from your full-time job to doing freelance or selling products full-time? The question to that is, it's going to be different for everybody, but I'm just going to tell you how I went about it. What I did is I had a full-time job. First thing I did was I was like, hey, can I maybe take one day off? And I was able to do that. So then I was able to focus on my artwork even more. Obviously before I got to the point where I asked my boss to take one day off, I was always working at night, doing freelance work. I was working on the weekends, doing markets. So I took the one day off of work, And then I was able to work on artwork more. I was able to get a utility client that was able to pay more. Basically what I was trying to do was find a utility client, which means a client that's going to pay me every month that would cover my rent. And once my rent was covered with that utility client, then I knew I could take even more risks. So once I had that, once I had got in contact with the utility client and was working with them on a monthly basis, I was able to go to 3 days a week at the job. And then at that point, I was basically spending most of my time working on my own freelance and selling my own products. So I started doing markets, and then, at that point I was able to do a market on a Saturday and a market on a Sunday. And then after a couple months of that, I was really making more than I had ever made at my job, and I was able to just quit my job, do freelance work, and then work on doing markets every weekend for a year. I did that for like 3 years. Obviously, as we grew, my wife helped, and then we had friends help. But you never just want to jump into doing freelance work without any. You want to have a savings. You want to get utility clients. You don't just want to quit your job without any backup, because then you're going to fail. Then you'll start taking projects that you don't want to do, and you kind of get stuck in this endless loop of chasing money because you didn't plan ahead. So make a savings, get a utility client, and then slowly, if you can, just slowly get away from that full-time job if that's what you want to do. So those are the questions from our Instagram account. So what we'll do now is I'll see if I can get any questions from our Instagram Live here. If you guys have any questions on the Instagram Live, we're going to be filming here for a little while. So if you guys ask any questions here, we'll have put them in the video. I'm not sure if we'll ask this, but what made you go from stickers to other items? That's a good question. So they're asking, how do you transition from one product to others? So really the stickers are kind of a low cost, easy buy for people. So what you want to do when you're doing markets is have a range of items. You don't want to have, it's up to you, but this is how I do it. I have a range of products. So I have an easy product like the sticker that costs $4, and then I have products that cost $30, $40, $50, $100, depending on what it is. So what you do is you have the lower cost items that helps people come in. It's not a big spend, and then you can kind of use those to purchase other larger cost items. How did I go from just making stickers to start making other products? Well, really, I didn't even make stickers when I first started this business. It was just pins and patches and hats. And then I started making stickers. Up until recently, this business has been all self-funded. So basically, I just took profits from the sticker sales, the other product sales, and then I use those to, invest into other products. Let's go back to Instagram. What is the software you're using in your designs? So I'm a little old school. I've been using Adobe programs for 22 years. I use Photoshop still to do all my designing, and I use a mouse. A lot of people use tablets. I've used tablets, iPad Pro with Procreate. It's all awesome. I've just been designing that way for 23 years, so it's just super simple for me to do that. Let's go back for another question here. Did you make your own stickers in the beginning or outsource it? So I used to work in production, and I know how you can kind of get bogged down in production. So I've always outsourced production of my goods, and I used to do that as a job, so I kind of have a little bit of an upper hand on knowing how that all works. But I definitely outsource my products. We don't create any of the products here in-house. All right, let's see what else you got. You have cool project management points for mention. Not exactly sure. Project management, we're working on using different inventory software on the back end, but we use QuickBooks, email, Slack. There's a bunch of different things that we use to run this business, and we're currently working with Fishbowl inventory for the inventory of all of our products in our warehouse. So it's a multi-front thing. It's not just one program. What are some of your best-selling designs? Do you focus any niche markets when you approach your subject matter? I love your work. What are some of our best-selling designs? Peace Sign Design, Yeti, those are kind of some of our best-selling designs as far as stickers goes. And then, do you focus on any niche markets? Well, we do. Obviously, we're in the nature, I do nature artwork. I feel like my brand is a little niche because we're not doing like technical outdoor gear and stuff like that. This brand is all it's all inspired by the outdoors. I've always loved the outdoors. I grew up on a farm when I was young, live in Colorado. Love going to the mountains and outside when possible. Definitely been a little harder since running my own business. But yeah, picking a niche or something that you're interested in is what you should do. It shouldn't just be some trend. It should be something you're genuinely interested in. But our niche is kind of outdoors, resorts, and then just doing doing different kind of artwork than you see in that market. That's kind of what's helped us stand out. Our designs are way different than a lot of the company's artwork that's being put out in this kind of outdoor nature resort niche. All right, let's see what another question is. These have been going good. Have you done any virtual live pop-ups? I have not done any virtual live pop-ups. Maybe someday. I would love to do a real live pop-up store first. So it looks like we are probably done with this video for today. We will definitely be making this a series. So what we'll do is we'll do a post on our Instagram. You can even leave questions below in this video. Anything you need to want to know about being creative, starting your own business, making products, small business stuff, good, bad, ugly. Ask any of those questions, and then we'll go ahead and film another video with your questions probably here in the near future. So thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate it. And like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. All right, that's it. Done.